If you're a new makeup artist and you're struggling to get more than just your friends or your family in your chair, you're in the right place because I'm going to help you get actual paying clients. I'm Neelam. I went from working 9 to 5s in jobs I absolutely hated, hustling beauty clients on the side, to being an award-winning luxury bridal makeup artist, lash artist, and a podcast host who's traveled the world and designed a life that I absolutely love. I love helping makeup artists and lash artists grow a beauty business that they're absolutely in love with. So today I'm sharing 5 ways to book more brides and get more clients as a beginner makeup artist. The first tip I'm sharing is one that I still do every single slow season. So for Toronto, that's usually December to April. We get a lot of snow here. It's half the year. This helps me boost my engagement rate online and the amount of inquiries that land in my inbox. And that's booking models. Now, when I say models, I'm not talking about agency models. We're looking for models that are well connected or look like our ideal client, the type of client you want more of and would be happy to be working on all year round. So to do this, I go into a Facebook group and I'll put up a model call. This is what mine usually looks like. People love getting their hair and makeup done, especially when it's free. So I'll usually get tons of responses to choose from. And okay, I know what you're thinking, but Neelam, for free, you tell us not to work for free. You tell us to value our time and our work. You're gonna be getting something out of this, so it's not necessarily for free. There is other ways to get paid other than just money, right? When you're posting a model call like this, people are gonna see your work because you're including photos of your work with the post. They're going to hopefully engage with your business page because they wanna see more of your work and make themselves stand out. So a lot of times they'll go into my page and start liking all the photos just so that hopefully I will choose them. So by doing this, we're really increasing both eyes and engagement on our pages. Then when you book them in, you're going to book in extra time. You really need this extra time. So make sure you communicate this with your model too. Let them know it usually takes 90 minutes to do a makeup, but because we're using these images for marketing and content, we're going to need an extra 45 minutes for photo and video to do before and after we do all the work, just so that they're aware, they know what to expect. You don't want them to come in and then next thing you know, they have to rush out after an hour because that's how long they thought this appointment was going to take. And then you don't get the photos or video. When they come in, you're going to take tons of photo and video, and I do not want you to slack here. Scroll online ahead of time to see what videos you love so you know exactly what shots you want and how to set up your camera. When they come in, you're going to make sure you set up your camera on a tripod and do a time lapse when you're working. So even if you don't know exactly what you need the footage for now, you have it later in case you decide you want to do something with it. You're then going to take all of these photos and videos and turn it into content to post so that you get more clients. This is such a great way to build your portfolio and to network. I've done this over and over and over and over again. Anytime I'm rebuilding my business or when I'm in a slow season, it works so well. You also want to make sure that you tag the client that you worked on and hopefully they will post it. Or better yet, add them as a collaborator so that they can have it appear in their feed and then all of their followers can see it too. I also take it one step further and I will email them their best pictures with my company logo on them to thank them for coming out, and I'll ask them to tag me if they decide to use the photos anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. Ooh, okay, one more thing. When they're in studio with you, make sure you focus on really building a connection with this client. You're going to pay attention to them. You're going to have a conversation with them. You're going to really get to know them and create a look that makes them feel so good about themselves, better than they've ever felt before. So if they ever have an event in the future, you are going to be the first and only person on their mind. Or if one of their friends are going to get married and that friend is looking for a makeup artist, you know they'll be referring you. Networking with other wedding vendors. I'm talking with my hands and my coffee is shaking. Hold up. It's sugary today. Okay. I did a podcast episode with Shay Ramsey about how to network with wedding vendors the right way, not the slimy way. So definitely check that one out. But one of the things that she did mention is that when she moved to a new city, she chose local businesses where her ideal bride would go. And she dropped off flowers with business cards attached to each individual flower. So that way the shop could hand it out for her. And it's pretty much doing her marketing for her. But it makes the shop look good because they're doing something really sweet too. And then she's getting free advertising. Again, this only works if you know who your if you know who your ideal. If you know who your ideal client is. If your ideal client is a bride, she's in her early 20s, is all about that natural, minimalistic, editorial style makeup and that kind of vibe for her wedding. She loves doing yoga in the morning and she lives a a vegan lifestyle, well, then you don't want to be dropping off flowers to be handed out at your local deli because that's probably not the best use of your time, right? But what would be some good places? The yoga studio, coffee shops around the studio, maybe spas that don't offer the same services you do, but do a lot of microneedling or facials that are kind of trending at the moment. Another way to book more brides, especially as a new bridal makeup artist, is to become active in wedding groups that are on Facebook. Now, you don't want to post promos for yourself. It's spammy. It can get you kicked out. It's happened to me. But this is an opportunity that a lot of established makeup artists don't really take advantage of because it is the long game. What you're going to do is you're going to answer questions that come up in that group. So if a bride's looking for feedback on like which dress she should choose, if she needs advice for wedding venues that suit the bridal aesthetic she's going for, the best photographer, answering these questions, it's a great way to build authority because you'll be seen as somebody that really has knowledge about the industry and the vendors in the area. When brides are looking for recommendations for like a florist or a videographer, a caterer, anything like that, you're going to tag your favorite wedding vendors. I don't know about you, but if someone tags me in a post looking for recommendations, I always click on their profile before I say thank you. I want to know who it is. Like, is it a friend? Is it a past client? Is it just somebody that I know or a bride whose wedding is coming up? Is it somebody that I don't even know? This is such a great indication of how your marketing efforts are doing. Once you get to know these other vendors more, they see that you're tagging them in posts, they might actually start tagging you back in posts where people are looking for makeup artists. You're not going in with that mindset because you really are trying to be helpful and you're just sharing your favorites. But often you'll find vendors are like, they're grateful. And if your work aligns with their style, they'll be happy to tag you back because they'll be excited to work with you and they're paying it forward. My last tip for today, honestly, this might sound so basic compared to everything else, but if you don't do this, nothing else I told you here today will work. And that's to stop taking photos in bad lighting. I cringe every time I see this. This can be bad overhead lighting. It could be shadows on like half of the face. It can be a dark hotel room. You have to have good lighting because you need to take lots of photos and video that represent your work in the best way possible. And good lighting makes your work look so much better. I always take my lighting with me on location. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. My lighting system is a staple in my kit. Let me know if you'd like to see what I use to film on location or my lighting setup or like how I do little edits before posting. And while we're speaking of things not to do, did you know there's probably things you're doing in an effort to grow your business, but it might actually be costing you clients? I did a whole video on this. I'll link it up for you here so you can watch it next. And if you haven't picked up my luxury bridal makeup artist checklist yet, this is a free guide. You can download in the link below the description. This is the guide for any bridal artist that's looking to enter the luxury market and really set themselves apart from other artists. It has everything you need to get set up, how to handle inquiries, what to do after you've booked your bride, how to show up on the wedding day, and then how to reach out after the booking and at the end of the year.